Yo, ladies and gents, welcome back to a Duet Night Abyss video, and welcome to a quick and an early guide to Phoxhunter, to the main character in the game. Very interesting character. Currently seems to be pretty good at both decent as on-fielding and also pretty good as supporting, or as a supporting character. For this video, I'm going to go over their entire kit, but I will mainly be viewing the character as a support. So if you want to play her as a main damage dealer, that's perfectly possible. But in my eyes, I'm gonna just view her as a support, and I'll explain why that is. By the way, I'm using a lightsaber as a weapon. If anyone knows why it is this color, you are a legend. Let's jump straight into it. So, Phoxhunter has a couple of cool things about their kit. So first of all, your skill is it's quite simple. It's basically just 2 slashes that you fire forwards. You are such a yapper. Is she still talking? Oh my god. It's basically two slashes that you fire forwards, and you are guaranteed to trigger a special effect on this, or a bonus effect on this. You'll see in her kit she has quite a lot of trigger probability stuff going on, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's basically just a piece of damage dealing. You can upgrade the passive to get a bit of skill duration, and both your duration and your range are really nice stats to have on this character, so it's very good. Now, the main part of her kit is her flare. Your flare does a couple of things. It deals lumino damage to nearby enemies. It gives you ultra shields, but most importantly, it gives you incandescence, which increases your weapon damage. For me at level 6, I am getting 35% weapon damage boost. I cannot tell you where in the calculations this number goes, so I also cannot tell you how valuable it is. I haven't done enough testing for it as it seems. But we'll see later on, she has other boosts to weapon damage as well, making her really good to boost characters that mainly focus on weapon damage. Now, before I move on, very quickly, weapon damage also has the consonance weapons counted as weapon damage. So if you are running Lisbol, or you are running Psyche, or you are running Lin, that is also weapon damage. So in that aspect, they also benefit from having this going. If you're running a character like Yale or Rebecca, obviously they're not getting any value from this, unless if you're using your weapon, but that would be kind of weird. We get skill range for this, which is also nice, because, again, you're kind of going to be running, or ideally you want to be running Phoxhunter as a support, and sometimes your supports decide to cast their ultimate, and you might be moving out of the way. The more skill range that you have, the more likely it is that you are still gaining value from the buff going on. Your passive basically says that when you are doing a bonus effect, so when you hit the trigger probability, you are getting extra lumino damage going on. So yeah, that's very nice because you gain value from trigger probability. And then your second passive gives you extra trigger probability for you and for your teammates when you use your flare, which is your ultimate. Currently for me, that is 100% trigger probability boost. What am I saying? That's going to be 100% for everyone, because you don't upgrade this. I'm stupid. You can buff this by having duration, as well as you can also buff this by having duration right here. So it's a very nice stat to have just to get more buffs going on. Also, I don't think this part of your kit is all too important, but if you want to increase the ultra shields that you get, you can actually do that with skill damage, which is a very weird thing, but it is technically possible. Yeah, those are basically her abilities. As for her weapon, I don't like saying this, but I just don't really know what her best in slot would be. I'm currently just using the starting weapon, and I'm gonna assume that if she is a support, you want to be looking for a weapon that gives you a supportive gives you some supportive value. So anything that would give you something that could be, beneficial. Now, when it comes to melee weapon, I don't really know what to be running. But for a ranged weapon, and I don't think this is specifically her best in slot, but you want to be looking for weapons that give you some skill range, or maybe some skill duration. And the Destructo gives you 36% skill range, and this is currently the only weapon that I have that seems to really be good on her. Like, I could also run skill duration here. Skill damage doesn't seem that good, because you mainly want to just keep your buffs up, and you want to have your buffs be in a large radius, so I wouldn't really be running skill damage. You could obviously also run something like the Arclight Apocalypse because it gives you both skill duration and then the random buff coming up. So yeah, for the ranged weapon, basically look for something that is going to give you supportive capabilities. If you figure out a melee weapon to use, you can also do that. But I seem to think that there's better range options than there are melee options for Phoxhunter. When it comes to, I mean, I guess I could look at the Genimon, and I'm going to just assume that something like this is the best if you're using them on field. If you're using them off field, you're not going to be using the Genimon, so it doesn't really matter. What does matter, however, is going to be your demon wedges, and there are a couple ones that seem quite interesting to me. So first of all, you are running as a support, so you want to be running either Prime Serenity or Prime. Where is it? Do I not have it? Oh my god. Or Prime Uplift. So either Serenity or Uplift. Serenity is going to give your team sanity generation. Uplift is going to give your team extra damage. Now, in any ideal team, you have your main damage dealer either running Resolve or... wait, I guess I don't have it. Or Morale, sorry, yeah. Jesus. You want to be running Resolve or Morale, or maybe at some point there's a character that can take full effect from Huntdown. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case just yet. You want to be running that on your main DPS, and then on your supports, you want to run Serenity on one, and then Uplift on the other. Right? It doesn't really matter who runs, which character runs which mod, or which wedge, but yeah, you basically want to have two of those going at once. I was looking at this, because again, we're looking to get some skill duration going. So an upgraded Helios, Gleam, and Glimmer is going to give you a bunch of skill duration, but it's also going to increase the Lumino attack of your character based on the skill duration that you have. And luckily, the wedges for Lumino have the skill duration one. You could be running Eternity and basically stack a whole bunch of skill duration, pump this number up as high as you possibly can, have some skill range from your weapon, and you are a support that is going to buff for a long time, have a long range for your buff, but you'll also be doing a bit of extra damage because of how much attack that you are stacking on. And that's basically how you want to go about playing Phoxhunter. There's not too much more to say. Oh, actually, wait, there's one thing that I forgot to mention that's probably quite important. Her second passive, or I guess her third passive, gives you weapon damage for self and allies. Now, this weapon boost is only 8%. I don't have a guarantee for this, but I'm going to assume that this calculates differently than this one, because the values just seem to... It seems crazy that this would only be 8% and you're getting 35 here. So I'm assuming this 8% is added later on, which is going to increase the damage more overall. But I'm not entirely sure about that. So yeah, basically you want to be running this character in teams that have a bunch of weapon damage going. Currently the, the Immersive Theater has the Immortal Repertoire based on Pyro and Animo. I am assuming, I'm not entirely sure about this, but I'm assuming that when Fina comes out, she's a Lumino character, the next domain will have, or the next event will have weakened Lumino going. And in that aspect, I think a team like, for example, Phoxhunter, Lisbol, and maybe Lady Niffle is going to be really valuable, or Lisbol with Phoxhunter with something like a Daphne to get some extra crit going is going to be really nice. So I'm very excited to play those teams, but currently I can't really do that yet because I'm just not going to be doing damage in the current Immersive Theater because of the effects that are going on. That's basically it. This was probably one of my shortest videos because I don't feel like there's too much more to talk about. It's a very simple character, but a very effective character at what they do. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or there's anything that you would like to let me know, make sure to do so in the comments below. I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.